My name is Mahesh Sardesai. I'm product expert from S/4HANA Regional Implementation Group. In this video, I'll be covering S/4HANA installation of SAP HANA-DB and SAP application. We'll go through the blog as shown here on the left. First, let's review what we did in part 1, as we have to complete the steps from that blog and have all the downloaded files available. Now we'll see the folder structure. I have not downloaded the optional components like SCM and language DVDs as well as kernel. Kernel would be needed for separate web dispatcher installation. This is the software package location for installation export. This is the location of the database. This is the location of HANA client. There's a stack XML file which has been FTP'd. You will have your own XML file. This is how it looks as shown in the blog. Here is the spam update SAR file in the download folder and also the blog. So let's see the location of database software. This is where the LCApps plugin is located. This is where HANA database package is located. So as we've covered everything from blog 1 and have all the files downloaded and available, let's now start with part 2. First, we verify the operating system version using this command. It is recommended to use SUSE Linux 11.4. If you already have existing database, you need to patch it to SP12 patch level 4 using the same media download here and then add a container. We'll install the new database, change the directory to one containing the database software, and then type /HDB-inst. So the local host name is vhcal hdbdb. Leave the installation path blank. Database is HDB. Instance is 02. We will install single container and it's a test system. Then you enter the system administration password. Accept the prompted values for home directory, login shell, and user ID. Location of data is changed to /HANA/data/HDB. Log is /HANA/log/HDB. Take the default for restrict memory maximum. Enter the database system user password and take default for restart system after machine reboot. Confirm to continue. It takes about 20 minutes to install, so you can set the timer on your smartphone as this will go on continuously, and you can be free to do other things. So now this completes the database installation. Next step is to install LCApps plugin. So we go to the directory for LCApps plugin software here and type /HDBinst and provide database seed name. This will be completed in 5 minutes. So start HANA Studio and right click and choose Add System. Hostname is vhcal hdb. Instance is 02. Enter user system and its password. Click on Finish. The next step is to extract the tool Software Provisioning Manager so we can run the sapinst command. We'll use the directories created as shown here. First, we go to the install directory and extract Software Provisioning Manager. There will be about 1581 files extracted depending on the version. So we have completed the extraction of SWPM as shown highlighted in the block on the left. Next, you configure your system for X Windows software like Xseed or Xmink. Then we'll run the combine sapinst plus sum command to install the system as well as update with add-ons. We will get sapinst graphical interface. Here we select standard system for 1610 as shown. Select parameter mode custom so we can enter all parameters. Provide seed name S for H. Specify the fully qualified domain name. Specify master password which will be applicable to all users. So you don't have to enter these every time a user password is prompted. Accept default for system admin user. Then a message pops up regarding mass import. We'll not run mass import, so just click OK. Specify the HANA database details. Click Next. All these SAR archives are located in the download directory. So enter /sapmedia/download. After you click on Next, it takes some time for the status to change to available. You can click on Next at this point. At this point, a lot of files are extracted. We'll install Live Cache. Select the local client path directory since we have single app server. Specify the package location for HANA client. Specify location of installation export 1. Then accept the database administrator password. Accept the password for schema user DBA cockpit. Accept the password for schema user SAP ABAP 1. Enter HANA import parameters. This option is grayed out as ABAP table declustering is enabled by default for NetWeaver 7.5 and above. Leave default number of parallel jobs. Here we specify instance numbers. We will change ASCS last character I to S. Enter message server ports. Enter password of ICM web administrator. Choose no SLD destination. Enter message server access control list. We will include additional components to be included like web dispatcher and gateway integrated ASCS. In case of SWPM 18.5, there's only only the first option is available. We'll leave the web dispatcher parameters default, but if you want to change here, you can change them. Enter password for TMS ADM for transport management system. The location of Saint spam update archive. We do not want to add any transports. Let's checkmark for extract some archives. Enter details of some SAR archive. Checkmark for some start automatically. Will not install additional languages. We'll go ahead with default option for secure storage generation. Now here we have the parameter summary. You can confirm the parameters. After we click on next, it takes 6 hours to complete the installation process, or less depending on your hardware. Finished entering the parameter summary at 12 noon. The process is shown here in fast forward. The clock starts at 12. So after 15 minutes, it reaches unpack SAR archive status. After 30 minutes, it's setting up database connection info. After 50 minutes, it is at ABAP import. After 1.5 hours, there are 5 jobs running and 1 waiting. After 2 hours from start, there are still 2 jobs running. At 3 p.m., the phase to run RUT DDLS create is running for a while till 5 p.m. There's a system restart and then the system is prepared for sum tool. And the last step is integrated live cache is installed. So now at this point, Sapiens is completed and we can check the components installed. So for this, you log into the SAP system, click on package level, click on install product version tab, and there's only one entry here. You can go to the components tab and check what component levels are there at the present after the base install. The next step is add-on installation using SUM. So we'll first set up the DNS entries in host file in your desktop so that hostname vhcal s4hci is resolved. So here we enter the URL for accessing SUM. You may have to click on wait as it takes some time for the first access. Enter the instance number. You can click on task list to see the progress of each task. Enter the DDIC system and schema password at this point. In our case, it is the same as master password. You can click on refresh to update the status of task list. The scan rear extract process runs just for 30 seconds. And here, as you can see, some process is still in the extraction phase. So we started this process at 6:10 and now the clock is showing 6:20. So we are within 10 minutes. This extraction phase should be completed if everything is right. At this point, system shows product type. What files were found in the download directory. There's a OS version check. There's a database version check. Shows the detected instances like ASCS and if there are other app instances. In our case, there's nothing else. They're just two instances. And it also checks if these are set up properly. Click on next now and we are in the config phase, which will run for about 20 minutes. As this is a new install, it makes sense to shorten the overall runtime using single system config option. Here we specify the uptime and downtime processes. Let's make use of as much resources as possible since this is a new installation. Now we reach the point where system detects missing node 2344014. So we log on to SAP system, enter transaction as node. Download the node. provide transport number, confirm changes. Now we are back to sum. The sum tool checks for new kernel directory and if there's a customized start profile. Click on next. You can select the expert mode and don't reinitialize. You can check the values and click on next. You can click on refresh to get status of the phases. At this point, we are prompted for add-on selection. Keep default and click next. The sum tool does queue calculation and reaches bind patch phase, where we can see the add-ons, their equivalence levels, and at this point we can see the support pack levels of the components of the target system. Click on next and sum tool request for transport. The check phase is about 5 minutes. Here the tool informs that you should have front-end software upgraded, the background job check, and kernel check. The pre-processing phase should last for about 10 minutes. Here you are prompted to lock development, which means from this point onwards, you cannot do any development in the system. Since it's a new system, is not an issue. Click on next. Process has moved many phases. We are at down conf dt trans phase. Here we take the last backup of database and also the update directory. Click on next. This is the last part of pre-processing phase. Click on next. Click on next. And we are now in the execution phase, which is the longest one in the entire sum upgrade. Here we reach the ect trans phase. At this point, click on next. This is the point at which you can take a break for about 1.5 hours. So after the break, at this point, you can take a backup and enable archiving if needed. Some tool starts SAP and displays message that downtime has finished at this point. Now you need to check the file checks.log at OS level. At this point, we are at SPOW. We are now at cleanup processing phase. That finishes the add-on installation with some. At this point, we should log on to SAP and check components. First, check the installed products version. Then check the individual software components. As all software component installation is complete, it's better to run sgen. Generate all objects of selected components. Make sure all components are selected. Click on continue. Select the line and run job directly. In the next part, we will see how to install release notes. If you choose to apply the transport provided, download the document attached to the link, and this has the procedure. The procedure has all the notes, but please check the latest release note. Follow the manual steps required, particularly for the house bank note. Here you can remove the X in the EDTX field. Next step is to import the transport. So first add the transport to the buffer. Next step is to check the nodes have really been applied using T-code SNote and go to the node browser. You can run post tabs as per the nodes. The post tabs needed to run the report RQTY and CDS extension, and also node 2377529 as mentioned in this document. We have completed the system install as per this blog. In the next part, the Saint method of add-on installation is covered as an alternative if you have issues with the sum tool. So here you extract all SAR files in EPSIN directory first at OS level. Click on load and import into the SAP system. Thank you. Hope you have enjoyed the presentation. Click on Stack XML file button to select the file. Then click on Continue. In the Software Components tab, you can see the calculated queue. Click on Continue. We don't have adjustment transport. You have to read all the notes and none of them have password. Then you get this dialog. Normally it is best to run preparation in dialog and import one onwards in background. Thank you. Hope you have enjoyed the presentation.